Now that we've diagnosed the errors with our data, okay, we need to actually go through and clean them up. Okay. So we're going to start with our categorical variables. So they appear first in our diagnostics table. So we have borough and overall quality, and they both have 6 and 7 missing values. So when we have a categorical variable, the basic imputation method to fix those missing values is to impute it with the mode. We don't want to start deleting every observation where we see a missing value, because oftentimes when we do that, we end up deleting a lot of the data and it's no longer an accurate representation of the truth. Okay, we can bias our data if we delete too many observations. So, and also if we delete an entire row of data just because it had a missing quality rating, then we're also deleting all the observations for every other variable in the data set that correspond to that row. So instead of deletion, okay, that's not what we're going to use in this class, we're going to use imputation. And so our missing value imputation for categorical variables is the mode, or the most frequently occurring category. We're doing univariate-based imputation. There are ways where we can use bivariate imputation if we know that two variables are related. We can use one to inform how we impute the other. It's a little bit beyond the scope of this course, but there are other options for cleaning methods. So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to find all of the missing observations for borough, and we're going to replace them with the mode, or the most frequently occurring category. And then we're going to find all the observations for overall quality, and we're going to replace them with the mode for that variable. So I'm going to go to my data diagnosis table because those frequency tables we created are going to help us identify what the mode is for each of those variables. When we go here, we have our borough variable. The mode is the most frequently occurring, okay? And it looks like Brookside is the mode for this variable. Okay, it has the most number of observations, followed pretty closely by North Ames and Crawford, but we have to pick one, so we're going to pick that Brookside. So we're going to impute those 6 missing values with the Brookside label when we clean it up. Let's go ahead and look at our overall quality variable. Okay, I think we had 7 missing values there. We need to identify the most frequently occurring category. That's easily category 5 for typical average. I guess, you know, when we expect things to kind of deviate towards the average. So we'll put 5-TA as an imputation for our overall quality. So Brookside and 5-TA are our 2 mode values for imputation. So the next step then is to go to that cleaned data worksheet. Okay, we're going to put some filter buttons over the tops of our variables, just highlighting these variable labels. Coming over here on our home ribbon to our editing panel, and click this sort and filter drop down and check that for filter buttons. Okay, we're going to start with borough. So the best way to do this is to click this drop down and uncheck all, and then check the blanks. Okay. You might also want to check Brookside just to make sure that you insert the label exactly as it appears in the data. Okay, so we have those. Now we're just showing missing values in Brookside. So the next thing we might want to do is sort A to Z. That's going to bring all those Brookside observations to the top, and it's going to drop those 6 missing values down to the bottom. Now all we have to do is take that Brookside label, go to the bottom right corner, and drag. I prefer to do it that way than trying to type this individually in a cell, because there's a chance that you might miss a letter, or you might add a space that's not there. And if it's not typed exactly how it appears in every other observation, then it's going to treat it like another category value. We saw that with the North Ames, okay, which is another cleaning exercise we're going to have to do with this variable. So we're replaced the 6 missing values with Brookside for the mode. Okay, now we can come up here, we can clear those filters, and when we look at them again, we don't see a blank option down here indicating that there are missing values within this column. The next one, overall quality, click that drop down Okay, we can see there are blanks here. We know we need to impute those blanks with the mode of 5-TA, so I'm going to check both of those. Press OK, and then we will sort the data. Okay, it's going to put all my 5 TAs towards the top. It's going to drop all those missing values to the bottom. We can see now we have those. Oops. What is it? 7 missing values. Or 6 missing values. I can't remember. One had 7, one had 6. Here, okay, we can take that mode category 5-TA and just drag it down to fill it. Okay, again, you can manually type these in, however you want to do it. This is the easiest way, the fastest way to do it for me. Okay. Now we'll go back up. We can clear the filter from overall quality. And then when we look, we see there's no more blanks here. That means we have effectively cleaned up those missing values. Now I want to go immediately to my data diagnostics table and record these cleaning exercises that we just did. So we replaced imputed 6 missing values with mode. And I'm going to put what that mode was. Brook side. I don't know if it had an I. This is why I didn't type it in. Okay. We can widen that column to make sure that it fits. We'll clean up and format this table at the end. The next one, okay, imputed 7 missing values with mode 5-TA. All right. It looks like we have all of our, so now we have addressed the missing values. Now we go through, we don't have to worry about the distribution shape. There's really nothing to note there. Maybe we could have put what our mode categories here are, or underrepresented categories to help us with that, but we are able to figure it out. The next thing that we need to address is this misspelling of the North Ames observations. So we don't have to do that for overall quality. This is the last cleaning exercise for categorical data. Go to our cleaned data. Remember, I'm doing all of this in my clean data tab because at the end, what I'm going to end up with is a clean data set. Okay, so for borough, we need to correct those North Ames duplications. Okay, the one that had the errors was this N with the space, not supposed to have the space. We can see there's those 3 error categories. I'm going to click in the first one, just remove that space. After I have that one done, now I can click and drag for these other 2. Okay, then we'll clear that filter and we can check and see that, all right, now we only have 1 category for North Ames, which is what we want to see. Okay, press OK. And it looks like all of our categorical variables are cleaned up. So here, the next thing we did was corrected 3 misspellings for North Ames. The other thing I like to do in this cleaning phase is, on my clean data tab, is make all the variable names descriptive. When we create visualizations with these variables, those names often appear in them. And it just one less step for you to have to go update a name if it's already done here. You can do this for the variable names. You can also do it for the category names. But we have other ways of updating category names kind of post hoc as well. So your choice. There's not too many issues here. I just had to add the full name for quality, full name for living, and then add a space between sale price. But it just cleans it up a little bit, makes it look nice and neat. All right, so that covers our categorical variable cleanup. In the next video, we will do our quantitative variables.